Hey guys, Dan Hood, Big DH 2000 here. Um, this latest one I finished up is basically a Quasimodo of sorts, or it's got its battle scars. I'll be first to admit. It started about 2, maybe 3 years ago, and it has not ended up anywhere near what it started out to be. Other than it started out to be through the fork, and it still is through the fork. About 2, 3 years ago, I had a big sheet of grade CE linen lined phenolic, if you will, basically about just shy of an inch thick. It was black. It's what they normally use in big electrical boards for buildings. So I took it to the water jet guy, had a design all picked out. They cut 24 out of it, and pretty much every one of them layers delaminated because they had the water jet set wrong. They had their nib was going bad on the water jet, so it wasn't as clean of a shot as it should have been. And I ended up with one out of that entire pack that was even remotely salvageable. Okay. The rest I just had to throw away, and I pretty much ate the cost of that huge phenolic board, which was, I was not happy, and my water jet guy knew it, and he did a couple of jobs for free for me afterwards. But anyway, here it is. Here's the one I was able to salvage. Now, if you look closely, you can see the white line where the delamination happened. It also, up here, you can see a little more delamination. There was 2 little layers that happened. I glued them, I strengthened them, I seeped glue into them, I cleaned it all up. Originally, this was supposed to be a hole that's sanded. You can see this is 1 inch here. It's through the fork. It's basically the X90D, I think it is, that design that I collaborated with MJ on, Mike McClure. The problem is with the delamination, I didn't trust it to be strong enough. Didn't want to trust it, so I filled it with sand and super glue. It's not perfect. It was the first sand and super glue I ever did. So there's voids in it, even though I've tried to fill them. I just gave up finally. There's a few voids still in it. You can see where, let me see if I can get it to focus on it. You can see there's the delamination layer in there, the delaminated layer, which as I told you, I glued and pressed together. There was also delaminations further out, because as you can see, this is about 1/2 inch and it started at 7/8. I sanded most of them off, but you can see there's still some blemishes from the edge of the delamination. I didn't want to sand anymore because I didn't want to take it down anymore. This was, in the end, this was more just, I couldn't really let it just sit and not get finished. So I finished it up. It's a rough one. I don't know if I'll ever sell it or give it away as a prize on some prize table. It was more I wanted to see how finish it off and see how it felt. Feels nice. I'm not a through the fork shooter, so whoever it is might enjoy this more than I will. Mike McClure shoots this design a lot. If nobody claims this for maybe even a discounted rate, who knows? Maybe I need to bag it up and send it to Mike and let him use it. But anyway, it's finally finished. I'm not sure what I'm going to call it. Maybe I'll just call it Battle Scars, because that's what it has. I learned, as always, your biggest mistakes are your best learning tools. And I've since learned that phenolic is best cut with a bandsaw and sanded from there, while there are water jet guys that can do it right, it's still a lot of sanding work afterwards. A lot more than if you just cut it with a bandsaw. So I've learned my lesson. I only do phenolic with the bandsaw and the sanders now. Anyway, the pictures do it a little more justice. Hope you guys like it. It's a nice shooter, and it's, as you can see, it's got the dimple to make it easy to shoot. The dimple in the thing. That's Mark Seljan ad. That was another idea I put on this and tested out. The other idea I wanted is I wanted to be able to get a full 1-inch band across there without having to fold it, even though, because back then I was still learning that folding bands doesn't really change the character of them much. But I want to be able to get a full 1-inch band on there flat and able to aim it. And that's what you can do with these. Take care, guys.